love to know a little bit about where do we find Sophie at the start of the season?
Yeah, so Sophie Chan, she's a first year surgical intern as we see her and meet her at the beginning of the season. And whew, at that stage in her career, she is just being run down and pulled left and right in every direction and just is just really at the bottom of everybody's shoe. She's getting scut, she's exhausted and trying to do her best just to survive, let alone thrive in this crazy world. And then, of course, we got a hurricane coming in, we got some chaos coming in, we got some sexual harassment, all these things. Like it's like this hurricane of a lot of stuff going on for Sophie. But one of the main things that she's dealing with also is her confidence and her self-belief, right? And trying to fight against these limiting beliefs that she has of herself because she just wants to be a good doctor. And it's tough. She has a lot of work to do on herself.
And what I loved about the portrayal that you have of Sophie, and I don't know, just me as an Asian American woman, like I could really see, the struggle that she has to deal with in dealing with the sort of bureaucracy and hierarchy that goes into just almost any job. But, hers is a little more high stakes because one wrong move
Literally
can
life and
kill
death.
someone. Literally life and death. So that being said, I would love to know, what do you really admire about Sophie?
What I really admire about Sophie is truly her ambition, her will to just pull through and work. And she also says in the series it's a hard job. And it is supposed to be hard. And like she will do anything it takes to survive. And then she is such a hard worker. And she needs to maybe learn how to enjoy a little bit more. But I really I love how strong of a woman and ambitious she is, and really is just willing to try her best time and time again.
I would love to know what sort of backstory did you come up with in terms of her upbringing, and what helped Dr. Chan get to where she is when we meet her in, Miami's McGuire Medical Center.
I was kind of honestly certain things like there's a little bit of like we get a little glimpse into my pageantry life back in Churubusco, Indiana. Hello, hi there. And that was kind of a surprise when we were approaching episode, I think it's around 5 and 6. So really in the beginning, the only information that I had in the breakdown was she's a surgical intern and she'll do anything to like be good at what she does. Like she's ambitious. So a lot of her backstory, I knew from Carlton and Zoe that she was from a small town, Indiana, Churubusco, population like less than 50,000 people, like very small town. So I just kind of tried to imagine what that would be like. I interviewed some of my friends and how it felt going from a small town to a big city and like having those dreams. But really, at the end of the day, I tried to inject a lot of my own fears and anxieties into her. Like I felt like she was very close to me in the sense that I know what it's like to fight tooth and nail for the career, the life that I want. And I know like how scary that can be also, and like wanting to have that external validation of Cole, just tell me good job, please, or like to get that booking, whatever it is. So just in her backstory, I just wanted to inject fears and hopes and dreams into her beyond just being a doctor. Because, like you said, there's so many interpersonal relationships and connections in the show. So to make her three-dimensional and a human being, it was important for her to have fear and a lot of it was my anxiety of just wanting to be good enough.
I'm gonna just pivot a little bit because I'm Filipino American, as I said, and
Hey,
yeah, hey,
salamat.
thank you. I come from a very long line of doctors. My grandfather was a doctor, my mom was a doctor, and yet here I am, an entertainment journalist. So I really chuckled when I saw your Instagram post, the announcement last year that you were like, the caption is, "Look, Mom, I'm a doctor." on
Yes.
TV. So I would love to know a little bit about, did you come from a family that was really supportive of the arts? Even though my mom was in the medical field, she really, instilled in us, to be creative and, as long as, we were able to support ourselves, she really did support that and didn't really put that sort of like Asian stereotype on,
Mhm.
you need to be a doctor, engineer, lawyer on top of us. What was your
Right.
upbringing like?
Well, I think I had more of the latter experience where my mom, of course, was like, anak, be doctor, be lawyer. That's kind of like acting. What about nurse? Okay. And I'm like, no, I don't. Oh, no. Okay. And she just let me, I put myself through school and just kind of did it. I was just so rebellious. I was like, I could do those things. I really thought I was going to be a veterinarian. Actually, when I was still in high school, I did the school play. I loved it. I loved it so much, acting and theater. But I didn't really see people that looked like me successful. I'm like, how am I going to survive and make money? Like, who lives as an actor? So I was like, okay, yeah, maybe I'll take that route. And I had a drama teacher that really believed in me. And he was the one that wrote a letter of recommendation for me, and my other drama teacher as well. And like, they kind of pushed me to be like, it is your dream. Like there is safety and there is here, but there is happiness over here. And it as scary as it is. And I think that was part of the insecurity or fear for my mom, right? Like she was single mother, immigrant coming over with two children. And it's like you want your kids to be able to support themselves, and I
Ugh.
grew up like in subsidized housing and all of these things. So to be here is such a blessing. But the experience of my mom, I'm sure, was filled with so much fear and anxiety just because it's such a turbulent industry. But she's so happy now. She's so excited. We were doing some live interviews earlier. I think she was trying to watch live and stuff. But yeah, it's been a crazy journey. She's very supportive now, but I understand her fear from the past. I get it. I get it.
How did 10 minutes go by so quickly?
And I jibber jabber. I'm sorry.
Do you have and I don't know if you can tell me this. So,
Okay.
do you have a favorite medical procedure that Dr. Chan does in the show that you found fascinating to learn and then perform?
All of the procedures, I'm so nerdy. Like, in order for me to say something, like, I have a journal where I had like diagrams in the procedure. Like, I have one patient that has an appendicitis, and um, I really like went down and did research. I was like, okay, so the little duodenum at the end there's feces in that. That's what happens. That ruptures into the abdominal cavity, all of these things. So, like, I really nerded out about all of the procedures. But there's one in particular, I didn't do it, but Phillips does it. He has to crack a chest. And when we were learning about that, wow, it's all coming back to me. Like literally all of the procedures when Josh was teaching us, when we were in these boot camps, I was like, you do that to people? Like real, he just sticking arms inside body, like, right? And you seeing the heart or seeing whatever. And it was just fascinating, especially coming from like thinking I was going to go into science, and it's such a full circle moment. But all of them were fascinating and they looked so real shooting. So I really felt like a real doctor. If you need me to put a chest tube in, don't you worry, girl. I got you.